Alright, today's going to be on body throws. So it's going to be a new video called Thoughts on Body Throws or Juggling Tutorial Body Throws. I have arranged several different segments for this tutorial. The first one is going to be on body throws in general. Then we're going to be talking about prerequisites. The third point is called the general approach to learning body throws. And the fourth one is called mental discipline, which I think is kind of important when you talk about body throws. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So first of all, what do I mean when I talk about body throws? Because there's kind of a problem with this particular terminology, because some people refer to body throws as many different tricks, and they take body throws and say that's like one general term for several different tricks, like back crosses and reverse back crosses, head flips, chin rolls, stuff like that, under the leg catches. But when I talk about body throws, I actually mean those that look like this, obviously. The throws that go through the legs and over the opposite shoulder. When you talk about the hand that makes the throw, when the right hand makes a throw, the club passes through the legs and over the opposite shoulder, over the left shoulder in this case. So there are a lot of different names for this trick. I think the most common term is Alberts. Then there is crotch throws, because the throws are kind of made with the crotch. I've also heard butterflies once, I think. And body throws is kind of the WJF, World Juggling Federation terminology term for this move, which I think it's a good term, but it confuses people. That's why I say that's most people are probably going to call it Alberts anyway. But I usually refer to this one as body throws because that's just how I was introduced to it. Well, second thing I want to talk about in this first segment is difficulty of this trick. So, like many other tricks that, not very many people do, this one is also pretty hard. So, and I have some notes right here, and I'm just trying to read some things out. So I think this is probably one of the harder three club moves, one of the moves that is sort of on the upper edge of difficulty. And to give you a quick comparison, I would say, what 5 club back crosses is, where you juggle 5 clubs behind your back with either double or triple rotations. I would say 5 club back crosses is still harder than 3 club body throws, because 3 club body throws is only 3 clubs. And also, what's important to know with body throws is you're gonna have a moment where it sort of clicks, where you sort of there's going to be a day when you sort of understand the whole move, when it suddenly starts to work really well. That's not something that usually happens with 5 club back crosses, because 5 club back crosses kind of gets better every few months, But body throws is something that one day it's going to click, and one day you're going to be suddenly out of a sudden be able to do it. So yeah. And the last point that I wanted to address is how have I learned this particular move. And well, in my case, it was pretty different from what I've heard most people tell me. I actually wanted to learn this trick like crazy, so I decided that I'm gonna put at least 2 up to 4 hours of practice into this particular move a day, So 2 to 4 hours practice a day. And also it's to say that most of this practice actually was just practicing one club. So I was like 2 or 3 hours. I was spending 2 or 3 hours in my room working on one club body throws, and then the other 1 or 2 hours I was practicing outside during the summer holidays. It took me somewhat between 3 months, 3 or 4 months, I guess. But it was a lot of work, and I always kept track of my records with the diary that I sort of came up with, during the first 2 weeks or so. But I guess after 2 or 3 months, it really started to get more and more consistent, because that's something that's kind of what you want to achieve. You want to be consistent. You don't want to be like the person that can do the trick like once out of 10 tries. You don't want to be the person that can do the trick like every second try, every other try. You want to be the person that can do it every time, and that's what I'm always working on when I'm working on my juggling. So yeah, so prerequisites. What I mean by that is, what should you be able to do before you start thinking, or before you even start thinking about learning this body throw move. What you should be able to do is a 3-club cascade should be no problem for you at all. 4-club fountain should also be no problem for you. And I think by the time you start working on this move, you'll already be able to juggle 5 clubs pretty decently. So, and in terms of 3 clubs, I'd like to add that being able to do 3-club back crosses is absolutely necessary, because this trick is just so much easier than body throws. But still, if you haven't learned 3-club back crosses yet, then you have no idea what if you already find back crosses hard to do, then you have no idea what body throws is going to be like. So you should be able to do 3-club back crosses really comfortably before you start working on this, and then some other things like chin rolls, head flips, I don't know, flats, middle smiths, all this stuff that you can do with 3 clubs. So just be comfortable with this. Well, so you're ready when you can juggle like 5 clubs and lots of 3-club moves. That's kind of the point when you're ready to get into 3-club body throws. Point number 3, the general approach. And this is where my technique might vary a bit, at least when you compare it to what other people usually do when they learn new tricks. I always try to only work on a few new moves, because most of the time I'm just working on getting moves that I can already do fairly well more consistently, and there's only room for like a couple tricks that I'm trying to really learn from the ground up. So body throws should be like that one trick that you want to work on with 3 clubs. There shouldn't be too many other 3-club tricks, because that's gonna get frustrating. Just take body throws, maybe one other 3-club trick you're trying to work on, and stick with these 2. The rest of the tricks you work on with 3 clubs, they should be tricks that you can already do fairly comfortably, that you only want to improve and make more consistent, more solid. Then choose 1 or 2 4-club tricks, 1 or 2 5-club tricks you're working on, and and the rest should be tricks that you can already do. That's my advice. Well, now the general approach. How are you gonna approach body throws? So, since I'm a person that practices in a very structured way in order to achieve a lot of progress with a very small amount of time, that's kind of what I'm about. I'd say this: while you're working on your 3-club moves, all the moves you can do, making them more solid, and these 2 moves, one of them being body throws, that you're trying to learn from the ground up. While you're in that part of your practice, in that your portion of your practice, you want to work on body throws for 6 or 5, something between 5 to 7 minutes, And what I would do is the following: take your favorite song on your iPod or whatever, and I think it's good if it's like 3.5 minutes, and play it. Then take 1 club and work on 1-club body throws. I'm not going to explain the technique, because I think that's not really important. I think the important thing is how you go about learning it. Watch a lot of videos, you'll see how they do it, but the general approach, that's what this is about. So take that 1 club and work on 1-club body throws. Work on them just until your song is done, just until your iPod stops playing or starts repeating the same song. That's going to be like 3 or 4 minutes. And do this every time you practice, After you're done with this 1 club, listen to this song again and grab 3 clubs. And while this song plays again, you're going to work on 3 different things every time. You're going to juggle 3 clubs, and you're going to throw one body throw from the right hand. Then you're gonna juggle 3 clubs again, and then after a while you're gonna do another throw from the left hand. You just do some single body throws first of all. So then you're gonna try to do a 3 count. So you're gonna try to juggle 3 clubs, grab 1 club, and that 1 club, as it travels back and forth between the left and the right hand, is going to be thrown as a body throw, while the other 2 clubs are just, you know, chilling around in a cascade. And then you're gonna try to just work on 3 club body throw endurance. In the beginning, it's gonna be very hard to even get a flash, but after a week or 2 weeks, you're gonna be like, okay, the flash is pretty possible. It's not gonna work every time, but it's gonna work. And you know, I think that I'm definitely gonna make some progress. And you're gonna work on this 3 club portion just as long, and just for the whole song, you know, while it's playing the second time. So you listen to your favorite song once, work on 1 club, and then you listen to your favorite song once again and work on these 3 things with 3 clubs. So with around 6 or 7 minutes, that's pretty much all you're gonna do for body throws that day. And that's what you're gonna do every practice. Every time you work on 3 clubs, you take your favorite song, listen to it twice, and you kind of do these, you know, these preparations or whatever you want to call, whatever else you might want to call them. I think that's pretty good. I think that way you're gonna make a lot more progress. Yeah, it's not how I did it, because I was kind of crazy about this trick, but I think I wasted a lot of time by working on this trick for like 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day. And I think the way that I just described is much better. It's gonna take you maybe half a year or a year that way, but I think it's not like you have to practice like every single day. You know, it's enough if you practice like, you know, 4 days a week or something. I think that's gonna be good. And the 4th point, which I'd like to address now, is called mental discipline, and that's very important, because you know, juggling is about having fun. Juggling is not about, well, I guess for most of us, it's not about becoming the best juggler in the world. Maybe for some of us it is, but not for all of us. It's mainly about having fun. So my general advice would be to not beat yourself up. Just enjoy what you're doing and just keep working on things. Just if something really doesn't work, and if it's just, you know, if juggling just seems to kind of piss you off, then just take a break for a few days and then come back and try again. But if you're like me, you know, when I'm having like a really bad day, then I just need to juggle 5 clubs and all these worries are just blown away by that. So, and I'm pretty crazy about juggling in general, because I think, you know, when I don't juggle for like 2 days, I just want to grab my clubs. And when I went to the Regensburg convention like a couple weeks ago, at the last day I was like, oh, my hands hurt so much, I'm not gonna juggle. I really don't want to juggle anymore for at least a week or something. And then I went home, and that same evening I was already practicing again for an hour. So yeah, that's kind of how crazy I am about it. So the first thing, don't beat yourself up, and the second thing is really, when you practice, it's really important to spend most of your time, at least that's my opinion, that's what I used to do and still do, spend most of your time working on tricks that you can already do. Try to make them, try to become more consistent with these, you know, that's kind of important. Working on new tricks, of course, is also important, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do more stuff later. But if you just work on 20 moves, then I don't think, especially if you don't practice like every day, then I think you're gonna get frustrated. You will stop working on moves, and just because if you don't have anyone who kind of pushes you to work on all the moves every day to make sure that you're not getting off the track, you know, then I think it's gonna be very hard to sort of stick with this. That's why I always practice the same tricks, because they are fun and I know that I can do them. I'm getting a bit better every time. And every 2 weeks I'm really seeing some good improvements. I'm happy with that. But not too many new tricks, because that's frustrating for me. I'd rather focus on becoming more solid before I add new moves. And sometimes, sometimes I try a new move and it works, and then I add that thing to my practice routine. But I tend not to. As I said, work on too many new things at once. But if you can, then do it. But make sure it's fun, because for me, the most important thing is to have fun, and yeah, I'm having fun right now. So hope that helps. I really appreciate that you've been listening to this sort of podcast, or sort of thoughts on body throws. If you want to see another video like that, of course, tell me in the comments. And if you like the video, then just tell me in the comments as well. And I'm sure I'll do another one if you think it was helpful. Well then, take care.